Hi, welcome back to the channel. Right, today we've got a 2015 Smart Fortwo and the clutch is slipping. I've never done this job, haven't really ever worked on the smart cars before, so that's going to be a first one for me. I already had a quick look. I just opened the cover, this big cover, removed it, so exposed the engine just to see how involved it is. It's a normal manual gearbox, not auto shift, so we'll see. Right, let's have a look. The thing we're going to do is probably remove this airbox first, maybe remove this fan so you can actually see the box a bit better from the top, and yeah, that way I can actually get to the engine mount also, or gearbox mount rather. You can see the cables there. Okay, let's take this off, have a look. Okay, don't want that. Now we can see something. So, drop the gear cables off. What we're probably gonna do now, jack it up, drain the gear oil, and go from there. Drop it down. Drain plug here, so let's get that off. Let that drain. I can take the wheels off. try to take that off. See if I've got room then. Myself as much room as I can possibly do. Whether you need to take that off or not, I don't know, but I'm taking it off. Lift that out. Let's take the other side off. Right, okay, I want to pop this plug back in before any dirt goes into that oil. Oh, I need a shorter 18mm. Alright, audio just cut off for some reason, so I'm gonna have to record that over the video. Yeah, so the engine mount coming off. So that's nice and simple. The drive shaft needs to be popped out. Just literally use the pry bar. There are some tools available, but it's not really much of an issue. You just pull it out with the drive shaft with the pry bar. You can use chisel and hammer and just literally pop it from behind and hit the sideways, hit the chisel sideways. So with this subframe, we had issue removing the drive shaft because it was an awful job. But then I literally put the bar into the back of the subframe and pulled it towards me, and that freed off enough room just to get the drive shaft out. And it's the same on the other side. Pop the drive shaft out. Okay, yeah, so the other side, same thing. Drive shaft It can be hit with a pry bar or chisel and hammer again. I'll pop it out. Yeah, so again, as I said, like I've used the bar to move the subframe out of the way to get the prop shaft out. Now I've got a couple of some plugs and a little bracket at the back of the, I'm not sure if the engine or gearbox, they just undo with a spanner. Yeah, it's easy when you're actually doing the job because you don't have to think about it. You see, you just undo things. But when you're actually watching it back yourself, it's not so easy to remember. Yeah, so brackets are out of the way. Oh no, the last bell housing bolt that's coming out. Once it's out, we should be able to start removing the gearbox. Yeah, I think there might be some more bolts. Okay, there's plenty of bell housing bolts still to undo. I thought that was in the last one, but it's not. There's got a few more bell housing bolts. Some of them you have to do it from the back. I like to start at the back and then come to the easy bolts later. That's why I normally suggest to undo all the awkward bolts first and leave the easiest bolt to the last. Okay, so there's some wires to undo also, because there's some of the wiring is clipped into the awkward place, so you have to undo it. I think I'm actually trying to undo the clutch pipe. You just little circlip, you just lift it up and it comes out. It's literally, you just pull it off and then the pipe just comes out. I normally put little on the bleed nipple, and you have little rubber bung at the end of it, so I normally use that bung to block off the pipe so brake fluid doesn't leak anywhere. I think I'm supporting the engine now. Yeah, so I'm removing the top mount now. One of them. So when you drop the engine, sometimes they do get stuck. So you use the copper hammer or blow hammer to whack the bolt down so it drops it out. If you use a normal steel hammer, it can damage the thread. And I'm actually going to remove the mount completely off the gearbox, so you've got a lot more room for you. So it's one nut and then 3 bolts. Zip them out, so you can use the whole sorts of different flexi or extensions wherever fits. Right, 1 bolt out, 2 bolts out. There you go. You can wiggle the engine mount, or gearbox mount rather, out. Nice. Now we've got so much more room under the engine, in the engine bay now. Without this mount, you can actually see the top bolts for the gearbox, bell housing, and the starter motor bolts. Oh, gear cables need to come out. It's one of them. You have to pull the no, this one you squeeze the little lugs. Squeeze the little lugs together, not too much, otherwise they can snap. And then move the gear cables out of the way and tuck them up somewhere so they don't actually dangle into your face. Right, that's the gear cables out of the way. Now we've got all the wiring for the crank sensor and other sensors, so just pull that out of the way as well. And now I'm able to get to the top bolts. So much easier now to get to the top bolts. There's a couple of starter motor bolts and the bell housing bolts. There you go. You can see them from the top better. I use the extension and the wobbly. So now the bolts are out. Right, you see, you still have to use the wobbly because of the bracket that holds the gear cables on. You do have a bit of a access issue, but still you can get to it all. Sometimes you do need to have a combination of extension, wobblies, long or short socket. Now all the bolts are out. One knee under the box, wiggle it and just lower it down. That's how I normally do it, because this gearbox is very light, so it's not really an issue removing it. Now you can see the clutch without any obstructions. Make sure we've got the correct clutch. It's always helpful to have a correct parts. So before you remove the other one, obviously you compare them two. And then I'm realizing that after I open the box, there's actually this gearbox came without any bearings in it. But because the customer supplied the parts, I will not do the job without replacing the slave cylinder, because it's a concentric slave cylinder. If you don't replace it, new clutch, it's just oh, that clutch is not very well at all. On the rivets, even cut the groove in here, and it's almost on the rivets on this side as well. Okay, let's clean it. Clean it. Clean the flywheel. Clean the bell housing. Flywheel is not the best condition, but cool. This gearbox got a lot of trapping places. You can trap all sorts of dirt in there. It's already. Little brake cleaners. Gearbox side. So it goes that way in only. Don't put it that way. Alright, he's gonna go and get the bits. That means I can complete. I can put that in. Let's see if that fits. No, that doesn't fit. Hang on. Picked up the wrong bit. There are 3 sizes on it. Small one, medium and a large. And I got 2 small and a large. So I tried to find the medium sized one. Right, centralized, lock it up, and that's it. We can pop it back on. Well, the clutch is on. We're gonna have to pause the video now because I spoke to the customer. He's gonna get the slave cylinder because I can't really not to put it on because that's gonna be just a bodge job. How we don't do them sort of jobs here. So, okay, lovely. Okay, we got new cylinder. I just popped that in. Lubricated the splines a bit. Just wanna grease up the little studs that's sticking out here. Then they don't seize up then next time. Right. Got some lubrication. Clutch is in. New cylinder is in. The leaves already fall down on it. Now we're ready to put the box back in. Okay. Oh, it's that way. And that's it. It sits on the studs, on the dowels. Okay. Nice and simple. Right. I just put all the bolts in finger tight. I just want to make sure nothing is trapped. Now these wires are out completely, so no trapping there. That's good. Means I can do them up now. Even if I'll do a couple of them up. Okay. Well, clip the cable, gear cables in, well, the lower one in at least, but so it's out of my way. But I need to put the engine mount back on now. Shorter one at the front, well, front to me at least. One side back. Okay. Well, that's engine hanging. We don't need any jacks any longer. Now I can carry on with my bell housing bolt. Oh, that sun is bright. I'm not complaining though. Right. That's them one. All the top ones already done up. The strap can go back on. The strap, the breather. Now I need to retrieve all my wiring loom. Drop that down and see how it goes. And that can be clipped back in. Right, I just need to clip that gear selector cable in properly. The white one. Right, so all the wires are plugged in. The sensor, or crankshaft position sensor rather. Right, the gear and clutch pipe is in as well. Right, let's try to put this gear cable back in properly now. Yeah, the lower one gone in nice and easy. This one's giving me a bit of a grief. Ah, there you go. Spoke too soon and it clicked in. That's it. Right, that's the gear cables in. The bell housing bolts are in. All the wires are in. Put that little bracket back on. I wasn't sure if I needed to take it off or not. If that in doubt, just take it out. Better take it out and not need it than not take it out and snap it. Right, that's the gearbox back on. Right, let's get that in. Right, that's the rear torque restrictor. Yes. Now the engine is secure. Gearbox secure. Ready to put the oil in. Right, I think I might pop the drive shafts in first, and then I'm gonna start bleeding it. Oh yeah, give you a little tip on the drive shafts. Sometimes you can try to put them in because the snap ring is on the way. So what you're gonna do is use the law of gravity to work for you because they see when it's like that, it's hanging down too low. So you see that little gap, put that to face it down. If that snap ring facing down, that means the snap ring actually goes inside, and it's a lot easier to put it in. Just a little tip. Just like that. Now I'll use the big bar. This one drive shaft in. Do the other side, the same thing. Right. That's it. That's it. That's it. Well, both drive shafts in. I can put the oil back in. Yeah, we use a big syringe to put the oil in, but I use a syringe as a funnel. Pop that in. You use a clean can of some sort, then you can reuse the gear oil. I mean, you can change it, but that's extra expense. And customers generally don't like extra expense. We try to save the money the way we can. It's not engine oil. It doesn't get burnt by the exhaust gases or anything like that. So, and all the swarf gets accumulated on the sump plug normally, on the magnet, if it's got one. Sometimes you've got a magnet built into the gearbox itself, so until you actually split the housing in half, you can't retrieve the magnet. You reuse the oil, you know you're not going to overfill. You just put exactly the same amount that you drained from it. And that way you don't have to guess or look up anywhere, anything, any capacity. So you just put the same amount back in and it's done. Gear oil is back in. Let's get rid of this thing. It's out of my way. Okay. Drive shafts are in, oil is in. Now I'm going to try to bleed it. To bleed it, you've got the two snap rings on this cylinder. Oh, I need to take the cap off first. The cap is off. You've got, I say, two snap rings. One of them is to hold it, you know, so it doesn't come out completely. But the second one, the closer in, you need to pull that out so you can push it pipe halfway out. You can actually feel it until it comes out, until the second click. But to do that, I need my screwdriver. Ah, there you go. It comes out. Oh, it comes out completely. Seems to be. Well, just pull it out and wait until the brake fluid starts coming out. Let's check the oil, brake fluid level. There's a possibility at the front, and there's a possibility it's actually lower than the back. So, right, to open the bonnet, we need to pull this out. Pull this out. And that just hangs there. Cool. My favorite skirt is here. Can't believe you just ruined my favorite skirt. Ah, oh, there you go. Alright, let's top up some brake fluid. Not coming out. Might have to use the force bleed, pressure bleeder on it. We'll see. Well, the sound's gone again, so we'll record that over again. I'm just connecting the pressure bleeder on at the moment. I still can't believe we've ruined on my favorite skirt. Right, pressurize it. You don't have to put too much pressure, and it will start coming out. The way you bleed it, this is very similar, like on the Renault's. It's got a cylinder, concentric slave cylinder. It's got a two little metal. Right. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the brake fluid to come out. So I say, like on the concentric slave cylinder, it's got the two little tags that you pull the first one out, but you leave the second one pushed in, and you pull the pipe, clutch pipe out until it hits the stop on the very furthermost like clip. Like it looks like a circlip clip sort of thing. Well, it starts coming out. Once it starts coming out, you just literally push the pipe back in until it clips in. Oh, it's pouring down to tidy up afterwards. Yeah, so I push the pipe back in, and then literally just pressing the clutch pipe by hand, because sometimes it gets stuck. I want to depressurize the system, so release the pressure now. So I'm actually assembling things back together, so I can put the I can see I put the drive shafts in already. Drive shafts are in, and so the coil spring can go back in. They have a locating holes in it, so you've got a rubber bush at the bottom of it. It has to go into the hole in the subframe, and the top one just hooks over. And again, you see I use that bar to lever the subframe into the place. to put the drive shafts in. Again, I'm putting the rear trailing arms back in, but you have to line them up. Right, it looks like it's going in okay. Obviously you have to put shock absorber back in, and you have to put the trailing arm in. Because the subframe, when it moved, it didn't line up properly. So I ended up having a really hard time trying to line up the trailing arms, and they just would not go back in. No matter how much I pushed and pulled with this bar, none. Right, I've done that. A bit of a fighting to put this bolt in. Have to loosen up all the chassis, all the bolts on the subframe to manage to locate this bolt in, because it was pulling to the side somehow. I know how that happened. It's when we tried to put the drive shaft in. Obviously, we moved the rear axle back and forward, and it didn't line up properly afterwards. Now we're good. And drop it down so I can actually get to the engine bay. Finish this airbox. And you see, make sure it's still bled out nicely. Yeah, pedal still feels perfectly fine. We'll check it once we start the car, if it is fine or not. I can put the airbox back on now. It's in there. Let's get in. Let's go in. Let's go in. That's in also. Right, let's pop the screws back in. I'll put this hose in a minute. Well, either way, wherever it's cooling, it's on. You can carry on cooling wherever it was cooling before. Well, that's all back together now. So before I put any covers on, in case we do need to bleed it, before I remove the jack, I'm gonna start it up and see if it's engaging into gears okay. Let's move all the ropes out because we won't be needing them anymore. Oh, I might need the key. Service overdue. That's going into gears. Yeah, going into gears perfectly fine. That's good. That means that can complete putting all this covers back on. Clutch feels actually very nice. Yeah. Nice. Cheers. Pop the bonnet back on, if you want to call that some sort of a front compartment lid. And that's it. That's our clutch is complete. So it wasn't as complicated as other thought might be. As I said, that's my first one ever to do, so it didn't take me long. What take the longest is actually get correct parts. But yeah, well, thanks for watching. Any questions, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.